Okay, this is kind of a long drone video here. This is a big property, 46 acres on the Finley River, um, about 15 miles east of Springfield, Missouri. So unbelievable property. We're looking east now. The property sits, uh, I guess, just on the other side of the river, you could say. It's got about 500 feet of river frontage. And so we're looking easterly at the property as we look across the river. We've got the river bottom area. It goes up a hill. You can see the cedar grove up there. And then it continues on to the county road, actually. If you look toward the middle of the bottom of your screen, you can see a little white vehicle there. That's actually a skid loader. I think he was down there mowing a trail to the river. One of our guys. Okay, so now we're kind of looking northerly. Land sits on the right side of the river. And like I said, this is a big property. There's a lot to see. This is obviously a wintertime drone video, so very, very few leaves on the trees, but it gives you a great chance to see the timber and see how the ground lays and all that good stuff, which is really tough to see actually in the summertime. Okay, there's a gravel bar there. And now we're looking down river. The river kind of splits right there and then comes together at the end of that huge gravel bar again. So now we're basically, I mean, look at the maps to see how this is situated. It's a really cool property. It's got a nice trail, several trails on it. So now we're kind of looking easterly again. Okay. I'm going to wait until the camera angles up a little bit so we can really get our bearings. There's the skid loader at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so in that bottom area that we're looking at now, adjacent to the river, we found dozens of mature walnut trees, tall, straight walnut trees, beautiful, beautiful, and valuable timber. And actually, after this property's been paid for in full, you're welcome to log it or sell the timber or whatever you want to do after it's paid for in full. So now we're looking easterly, across the river bottom, going up the hill toward those cedar trees, and I think we'll do a complete flyover in another minute here, but I believe we linger at the river for a little while. It's a pretty shot, actually. This property, I mean, this has everything. It's got the river frontage, it's got the good timber, it's got open field, it's got a nice pond. It's actually got we found some small caves, which are really cool. They're actually not too far from the river. I think we'll fly over those in a moment. But here's kind of another look at the Finley River. Since this is a wintertime video, the water looks a little low, but I mean, it's still very clear. You can see the fish in there, you can swim, you can kayak or canoe. It's just beautiful, and only about 20 minutes from Springfield. It's about 15 miles, but I believe it takes about 20 minutes to get to Springfield. Okay, so now we're kind of heading easterly over that river bottom. To the right is where you'll find the bluffs that have the caves. They look like small openings. We really haven't explored them because it looks like animals are exploring them as well. So there were some little footprints going in there. Okay, going easterly. You really can't see it, but in the center of the screen there's a trail that goes up that hill to the top. And then that trail actually continues all the way up to the pond and then to the meadow on the east side of the property. We'll do a flyover here. I think they were out there cleaning up that trail as we were taking this video, so it might be tough to see the trail. This property basically had the existing trail, but it hadn't been maintained for years and years and years. So they were out there with the mower on the Bobcat, mowing down the grass and some of the smaller cedar trees to open up that trail again. But actually the property had quite a few trails through the cedar grove. So as we look easterly, that's hardwood timber on the right. You can see cedars on the left. Property's a nice mix of both. Quite a bit of hardwood timber and then a lot of mature cedar trees. Looking northerly, and then I guess we're going to look back to the west, get a view of that river valley. It's really pretty out here. It's just gorgeous. So excited to find something like this near Springfield. We were just really pumped about this project. Now we're kind of looking down at that trail, and I guess we're going to head back toward the river, maybe not. Now we've transitioned into the hardwood trees, and the trail is going down that hill into the river bottom. where we just came from. But let's check it out again. So you can see where kind of the grass turns green. Now that's the river bottom area. So you don't want to build there. And looking up, you can see the river. So the caves would be on the left. There's a small creek bed that it wasn't running when we took this, but you can see where it feeds into the river on the left. And the caves are adjacent to that little creek bed on the left side. Really cool. Definitely go check those out. And I hope we're going to fly back up and check out the east side. I think we are, because the video is actually only about half over. This is a really long drone video. Okay, so now we're going to head back to the east. I think we're going to kind of follow the trail that the guys were cleaning up a little bit. So the trail itself, I mean, this is a property where you probably want to have a four-wheeler because it's just big and there's a lot to see, or side-by-side. When they got the trail cleaned up a little more, they told me that they were able to drive the pickup truck kind of to past the cedar grove and just shy of the river bottom. They didn't take the truck down the hill into the river bottom, but with the four-wheeler we were fine going up and down that hill. Okay, so now we're kind of headed easterly again. You've got the hardwood timber on the right, you've got the cedars on the left. Nice mixture of both on this property. You can check out the aerial maps to see just exactly how it's situated and how the timber lies and all that good stuff. But I mean, this is a nice one. Slowly heading easterly. So many building sites. You've got power on the east side, near the pond actually. It crosses directly over the property, so you're covered there. Phone, I assume, would be at the county road. We had good cell service out here with Verizon. Okay, so now we're looking north. That's obviously the cedar grove, if you will. But what that probably is an old meadow that someone just quit using for pasture a couple decades ago, and it grew up in those cedar trees. And cedars aren't too bad to take out if you ended up wanting to turn that part into a meadow again for horses or cattle or whatnot. That's a good northerly look. You can see the hardwood timber on the bottom transitioning to the cedar, and then we're going to fly northerly. I believe we're going to fly toward the pond and then hopefully the county road. There you can see the trail. One of the trails, I mean, there's quite a few trails, and I think when they had that mower on the front of the Bobcat, they were kind of having some fun, so they went and created some new trails as well throughout the property. The deer are fantastic out here, the turkey as well. We found dozens of deer beds within those cedar trees. Moving northerly. After this video was taken, they actually opened up a site just about under where the drone is right now. Opened up a nice building site that has a view kind of the river valley and of the large hillside across. It's beautiful, big beautiful site. We didn't get that in the video, unfortunately, because it wasn't done at that time. But there you can see the pond. It's a good pond. The deer love to come to that pond. They've seen a big buck there a couple times in the morning. And now as we look easterly, go across the meadow to the county road. And the property has, I believe, roughly a couple hundred feet of frontage right on the county road there. The guys were scheduled to do an approach off the county road. It was not done when this video was taken, and I'm not sure if it's done when this voiceover was taken. If it's not, then there's a gate just a couple hundred feet to the north, and you're welcome to go through that gate. It's just north of that old barn. You're welcome to go through that gate to get onto the property. The barn is on a separate property. So as we look north, it sits left of the road. We're going to spin back and look to the east. And again, when you look at the maps and whatnot on the listing, you'll see exactly how this sits. Kind of hard to explain it properly in the drone video. But now we're looking westerly. You can see the pond. look to the left of the pond, you see those cedars, and then it eventually goes down to the Finley River. So yeah, I mean, if you've been looking for something near Springfield, property near Springfield is and has been a great investment for many years, and it just keeps going up. There on the left side, you can see a neighbor's house. We didn't even know he was there until we did the drone video, so it's private. I think the guys did mow one trail that went up kind of the fence line, so possibly you could see the neighbor from that trail, but I mean, it's just super private. But yeah, awesome property, very rare. We're so excited about this one. If you have any questions, let us know. The website is InstantAcres.com to see if this property is still available. You can call us in the office, or you can send us an email at sales@InstantAcres.com and just ask us about the 46 acres on the Finley River.